Am I the asshole? For secretly learning sign language to communicate better with my deaf sister-in-law? Am I the asshole? For keeping my deaf sister-in-law informed about my covert sign language studies, despite the fact that doing so angered my brother and cousin? My only intention was to deepen my relationship with Elizabeth, and I truly didn't mean to offend anyone. Not the asshole. If learning sign language was so important, I could have learned it. Just like you did. They can go together now if they really want to learn. My brother Richard and my husband's cousin Hannah appeared a little miffed that I had left them out of my scheme. They claimed that since they felt excluded and taken aback by my choice, I ought to have first consulted with them. You learned a new skill. You don't need their permission or anyone's for that. Not the asshole. If they want to catch up, they'll be able to count on your help while they learn. It's a win-win. Not the asshole. They have no control over what you do. You didn't need their permission to learn sign language, and as long as Elizabeth was happy, that's all that matters. They could have made any number of attempts to learn on their own over the years, and they didn't. That's on them, not you. Not the asshole. Why would they need to be included in your decision to learn sign language? They seem to be trying to make stuff into something about themselves when it really isn't anything to do with them. Not the asshole. Nope, there is no way you were an here. Richard and Hannah could have learned sign language on their own. Their anger towards you is just based on their own self-guilt. You're all presumably adults, you don't need permission to learn another language, nor does it need to be a group effort. Info is the problem in your family, or your husband's family? I get a little confused by the relationships here. Why would your brother and your husband's cousin be annoyed? Then you say you surprised her with speaking to her with sign language, and then at the end you say you were keeping her informed about your covert sign language studies. What is it? Not the asshole. They're annoyed that you've exposed them as not as nice as you, but you know what? F them. What you did was nice, you put in time and you cared. Elizabeth was happy. Not the asshole. Not your fault they didn't have the empathy to put a bit of effort into learning to communicate with a family member. Not the asshole. The caring family members were just embarrassed because they didn't care enough for this woman to learn ASL. Serves them right. You just made yourself a new best friend for life in Elizabeth. Not the asshole. This is something they could have done way earlier. Still, not everyone in the family was overly excited about my clandestine project. They are probably pissed that it made them look bad. You learned it while her family members haven't. Not I fail to see how your decision has anything to do with them at all, and you had no obligation to tell them anything. It was a very thoughtful gesture for your Sil. Not the asshole. Your Sil's opinion the only that should matter, and she happy you did this for her. Not the asshole. If they'd wanted to study sign language they could have done so. They didn't care to put in the same effort. They're just annoyed that you did something nice for Elizabeth and they did not. Not the asshole. Why the heck should you have consulted them? What am I missing? Had they wanted to learn, there was literally nothing stopping them. What ridiculous people. I'm glad your effort was appreciated by the one who matters, Elizabeth. Not the asshole, and big respect from me. They just felt like they are bad people while you are doing something good. But if you want another opinion, yes, you could ask them if they wanna join you, but you don't have to. There is a deaf person in the family. Learning sign language must be the obvious action, but you are first person to think about it and do it. Not the asshole, my friend. Not the asshole all the way. It's truly beautiful what you did for your Sil. Your family who feels excluded is only feeling like that because of their insecurities. They could learn whenever they wanted. Now they feel threatened because you showed so much compassion and love that they don't seem that great as they think they should. They are the as. Not the asshole. It's not like you needed permission. Why have they never bothered to learn it? Are you supposed to run every decision you make by them? Is everything about them? Talk about main character syndrome. They have the same resources available to learn as you do. As someone who worked with the deaf and hard of hearing for many years, I think you are amazing. Learning sign is hard. You're literally learning a new language. You have to be pretty dedicated to become proficient enough to communicate effectively. Now not only can you communicate with your sister-in-law, but also other members of the deaf community. I applaud you. Not the asshole. You did a very good thing here. When you say that your brother got miffed, do you mean to say that Elizabeth's husband hasn't learned sign language? If yes, I find that astonishing. Would he not want to speak with his own wife? Ah, I now see that I didn't read the post properly. Your brother is not Elizabeth's husband. Sorry. Nata. If they wanted to learn to sign, then they should take courses themselves. It is not up to you, the sister-in-law, to push them into any activity. You taking courses to improve your communication with your SIL was not something you were obligated to inform them of or offer to sharing with them. Personally, it sounds like they are mad that you made them look bad with their own lack of effort to include her more. NDA. What a lovely gesture. Richard and Hannah have a problem with what exactly? Not the asshole. Richard and Hannah are just embarrassed that in their entire adult lives never bothered to learn SL so that they could communicate better with Elizabeth. Not the asshole. If your husband's cousin wants to learn sign language, she doesn't need to coordinate with you. I wonder why your brother would be protesting either. You are 28 years old, aren't you allowed to have a project of your own? You don't dictate how they should spend their time, they should not have opinions on yours. Not the asshole. Honestly, I don't understand how you can see their point of view. Why would you need to tell anyone you're learning sign language? Very sweet, thoughtful, BTW, yellow heart. Not the asshole. Do they feel bad because they didn't think to learn sign language for you, Sil? Sounds like a personal problem. Nothing is stopping them from learning it now. Do they also want you to inform them should you want to surprise anyone else in the family with a kind gesture so they can jump on that train too? Should you tell them all the Christmas presents you plan for the family so in case you get a really good one they can chip in on it and share some credit? This is so nonsensical and seems like they're stirring the shit pot just for drama's sake. Not the asshole. They're mad and upset because they feel like you made them look bad or like they don't care enough about her to put the effort in. Not the asshole. Your brother and hubby's cousin are just pissed because your efforts for your SIL made their lack of effort look bad. Nata. My guess is they feel like you made them look bad because they couldn't be bothered to learn how to sign. So are now taking their defensiveness out on you. Not the asshole. If they cared as much as you do, they would have learned it themselves. Not the asshole. But I hope the rest is leaning this ASAP. Not the asshole. What a load of bullshit. They are just nosy and don't like to have the roles reversed. If you want to please them you can still talk while signing. This comment. They claimed that since they felt excluded and taken aback by my choice, I ought to have first consulted with them. I can see their point of view now, and perhaps I should have included them earlier. Please don't see their point of view. You did an objectively kind, time-consuming, thoughtful thing. You don't need to consider their point of view, because it's stupid and selfish. You sound like a great SIL. If anyone is offended, they suck. They're embarrassed because you expended effort that they haven't bothered to. Not the asshole. Lol. They are miffed because you are more caring than them and proved it. Nah. While I agree with your brother and your husband's cousin's sentiments, I think it's no worse than a slight bit of mischief. Not the asshole. Period. Your brother and your cousin are. Good on you and enjoy this new venture with Elizabeth. Not the asshole. You did something lovely. Not the asshole. They're just mad because they're embarrassed and now they're trying to put the blame somewhere other than them for making no effort to communicate with their family. Not the asshole. That was incredibly sweet thing to do. You didn't have to consult with anyone. It's weird that they think they can gatekeep that kind of thing. Learning a language is difficult. I can understand keeping it to yourself in case you got frustrated and gave up.